What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I gotta say, I don't know what it is about, I don't know if it's TikTok itself or if it's the phone, but I always look so much better and the lighting looks better on TikTok than it does on the YouTube one. So, for whatever that is worth. Guys, welcome to another episode of Rose Reads, where I read a book, I take notes, and then I share with you my thoughts, my perspectives, and various quotations from the book to help guide you, maybe inspire you to read the book yourself, or at least to think a little bit differently about what is going on. I will tell you this too. This is the other thing that frustrates me both about YouTube Live and TikTok Live now. It used to be immediately within 30 seconds, there would be people coming onto the live stream. And now it takes 2 to 5 minutes before anybody crashes the live stream. So it's kind of weird. Like, I can't really get started because there's nobody here yet. But if I don't get started, the people who watch me later are going to go, why didn't this guy get started? So unfortunately, I got another option, but to get started. I will share something that I think you guys would find interesting. I talk about this a lot. No matter what investment you are considering, it's not easy. And you'll read some books that'll tell you that, oh, the key to becoming a millionaire is real estate. Oh, you've got to be a day trader on the stock market. Oh, you got to buy and hold on the S&P 500. No, you got to go crypto. The crypto Bitcoin is where it's at. All that. Hey, dancer. The dog is saying, no, the most important thing for investing is to take care of me, the little doggy. All right. What's up, Oliveris? Hey, by the way, some of the people in my building are going to come to Playland with me on Sunday. So you're invited too if you want to come. So just let me know if you are interested. Okay, Dancer, I'm going to put you down now because I have very important live stream business on YouTube and TikTok. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? All right, I'm going to put her down. Good doggy. So anyway, what I was just saying is, do not assume that there's any easy way to make millions. No matter what investment it is, you're going to have difficulties. Maybe you luck into some crazy scheme that just takes off and you don't have to worry about it. But for example, I got these 2 condos in South Florida that I co-owned with my mom. And we've got tenants. And one of them, there's this perennial leak in the kitchen sink that's causing problems. So I have to fix that. The other one has to have the entire the shower pulled up, all the tiles, because it's leaking into the apartment below, driving me crazy. I just got the mortgage statement from the one that we have a mortgage on, and they're increasing the escrow by $450 a month. And it's like, gosh, I'm barely making any money on that. Before that, as soon as this goes up to $400 a month, boom. Not only am I not making money, but I'm losing money on that condo. And the profit from the other condo is now going to be used to cover the losses. So again, you keep thinking, oh, real estate, rich dad, poor dad. Let me get some property and rent them. And honestly, I'm part of me wants to sell one or both of them because it's such a pain in the butt. And just when you start to think that you're making money, something breaks down, or there's a special assessment, or you have got to redo the bathroom or whatever. So that's just one example. The other examples are the stock market. People, oh, I got to put in the stock market. And everyone thinks that's the quick way to millions. Oh, everyone's into Bitcoin. Everybody's into crypto. That's the way I'm going to become rich. Oh my God. I mean, everything. Oh, I'm going to start a business. Oh, the most successful. I see all these successful restaurants. I'm going to start the next big restaurant. And then, 90% of new restaurants go out of business within 2 years. Got someone here, let me see what these comments are. Lloyd says, what are we talking about? Fill me in. We're talking about investments, money. This is called Rose Reads. My name is Monroe Mann, where I read a book and then I take notes and share with you the notes. We've been working on Dave Ramsey's Babystep Millionaires for the last, month. Today's the last one in this series. I only have about 10 more tips that I got from reading the book, and we're going to get started with that very quickly. Thank you, Diane. Diane on YouTube says, this is my favorite gay streamer. Well, thank you so much, because I am a happy guy, and that's where the term gay comes from, is from happy, because people would call most homosexual guys were so happy, so they called them gay. So there's a little etymological lesson for me. I'm also a TEFL certified English teacher. And now you know why they call homosexuals gay, because they're happy. So if you want to call me gay because I am one of the happiest guys around. So yeah, baby, I'm 100% gay. Yeah. All right. What's up, Will McFarlane and DeFox? How you doing, guys? Thank you for clicking like on YouTube and TikTok. Please subscribe. Let's get to the first quotation. When I say quotation, these are just notes from the Dave Ramsey book, Babystep Millionaires. Here, there are 4 types of good debts. Do you know what those are? One of them is education. Business loans is the second. Third is home equity loans. And fourth is a mortgage loan. The home equity loan is questionable. And I'll tell you, all of them are questionable. So I don't want you to think all of them are valid. Let's go through each one and find out what is a good debt. If you've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know that there are good debts and bad debts. Let's first talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What's up, Rabbit Gamer? Rabbit Gamer says, I took financial literacy. Yes, you should know this. What's up, Luke? You look familiar. Why? Because I am YouTube's #1 and TikTok's #1 live streamer. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Jacob wants me to pant like a dog. I'm hungry for investments. My precious. So education can be a good debt. How can that be a good debt? I went to law school, got a bunch of loans for that, and now I've got a great paying job. Now, on the flip side, it took me many years after finishing law school, before I ended up getting a job that I felt was commensurate with the amount of debt that I incurred to get here. So education can be a good debt, but you got to be careful, because it's very easy to justify any debt by going, oh no, it's education. It's education. And before you know it, you got $20, $50, $100,000 of education debt, thinking it's good debt, but it's not making you any money. That is the key. If the education that you go into debt for does not bring back a return on investment, basically, if it's not paying for itself, well, then it was a bad debt. 2, business loans. Again, it's kind of the same thing. You could argue, back when I was in my early 20s, when I just got out of college and I was starting my career as an actor in New York City, I was given so many credit cards. And what did I do? I just spent them on acting classes, on headshots, on books, on all these things. And I was convinced, and I convinced myself, Monroe, these are business expenses. These are business loans. They're going to come back to you big time. And it could have. Maybe I could have become a movie star and I could have made millions of dollars as an actor, but it didn't happen. And so I ended up with a bunch of credit card debt that started off with me convincing myself that it was business debt, when really it was speculation, and that didn't turn out well. What is business but speculation? Anyone who starts a business and doesn't acknowledge that it's very likely that you're going to fail is completely deluded. And so, yeah, you might need to take out a loan or use your credit cards to start a business, but fight your darndest to figure out another way to finance whatever you're doing. Don't resort to credit cards unless you have a 95% likelihood that it's gonna succeed. Not a 95% likelihood in your head, based on independent opinions. If you talk to your parents, if you talk to your friends, if you talk to potential customers, it's mostly potential customers because your friends and your parents are probably going to say, oh my gosh, what a great idea. It's going to take off. And then you realize, oh no, it didn't take off. Something that I used to be ashamed of, but I'm not anymore because I find it very instructive, is that business debt on the credit cards back in 1999, 2000, 2001, I ended up declaring bankruptcy. This was right before I got deployed to Iraq with the U.S. Army. I'm telling you this because I don't want you to go through what I went through. Because then I had a bankruptcy on my record. When I got back from Iraq, I survived the war, but I had terrible credit. And it took 10 years before that bankruptcy got off my credit report. On the bright side, I learned a valuable lesson and I got my MBA in finance. I got a master's in entrepreneurship. I became a lawyer. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and all these books to learn how to never let that happen again. I'm telling you this now because I want you to feel that A, it's okay to make financial mistakes. I made financial mistakes. You made financial mistakes. You made financial mistakes. And guess what? I'm going to make more. You're going to make more. The key is don't be afraid to admit that you don't know everything, because the truth is we don't. I know a lot more about finance and investing than most people, but there are many people who know a heck of a lot more than me. And so I'm trying to teach you, and hey, you guys teach me all the time too. A lot of times I'll get comments from people who go, oh, what about this perspective? And I say, hey, I love it. So thanks, Echo, saying I look like Putin. Well, Putin is one good-looking Russian. Хорошо. Хорошо. That means good in Russian. How you doing, Chevy? Good to see you, Chevy Traverse. Solvent is back in the house. Johnny A. Grant wants you to say happy birthday to your girlfriend, Layla. But I don't even know if you're still there. All right, next type of debt that Dave Ramsey thinks is good is a home equity loan. What is a home equity loan? First of all, this is something that I wish I knew 5 years ago. If I understood home equity loans back then as well as I do now, I wouldn't have sold the family lake house in Maine because I would have been able to use the power of a home equity loan to hold on to the property, but also pay for the property. What is it? Basically, if you own, let's just say you own a house and it's worth $500,000 and there's no mortgage. But let's say you need money for something else, for an investment, to buy another property, so whatever. You can go to the bank and say, hey, look, I've got this house worth $500,000. Can you give me $100,000 and then I owe you a mortgage of $100,000? It's kind of like the exact opposite of what you usually do to the bank. Usually you go to the bank and say, hey, I want to buy this $500,000 house. Can you give me a loan for $500,000 so that I can buy it? Here you're saying, I own the house worth $500,000. Can you give me some money using the house as collateral, as equity? And what's up, Tucker? Long time no see, my friend. A home equity loan, again, he says it's a good debt. It depends what you're using the home equity loan for. If you get a $100,000 home equity loan and then you go gamble with it and you lose it, that was bad debt. If you get it to just go on vacations, again, that is bad debt. So it really depends on what the debt is being used for and whether there's going to be a return on investment that's going to pay off that debt. The fourth type of good debt, according to Dave Ramsey, and I tell you, it's good debt only in certain circumstances. He says a mortgage loan. Well, a mortgage loan is good debt if you're buying a property that's appreciating in equity, in value. I have this condo in South Florida, and we got a mortgage in order to buy it, put down 50% down, 50% mortgage, and in the 3 years since we bought it, the property value has dropped by about $10,000. So it's really annoying because if I sold the house, the condo tomorrow, it would already be at a loss of $10,000. Plus, when you add on to the cost of closing costs, it's probably a loss of $15,000 to $20,000. In that case, this mortgage is kind of bad debt because I used a mortgage to buy a property that has dropped in value. And that is the cardinal sin of real estate investment. It's not something you can predict. Obviously, I expected that real estate is going to go up. We all hear that all the time. I've learned my lessons that real estate does not always go up. So I've got this mortgage loan, but it's actually, and the escrow payment is going up by $400 a month starting in September. This mortgage loan is not going to be a good thing. And if the mortgage goes up, the escrow by that much, probably next month I'm going to put it up for sale because I'd rather be free and clear of it, accept the loss, and then put that money into something else. S&P 500, maybe buying a primary residence, doing something else. So Dave Ramsey says there's 4 types of good debts: education, business loans, home equity loans, and mortgage loans. As I just told you, they could be all bad debts if you are using them for stupid purposes or if the investment that you use the money for turns out to be sour. This is why I recommend people to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because it really talks about what the definition of good debt versus bad debt is. Good debt is a debt that puts money in your pocket. Bad debt is money that takes money out of your pocket. What's up, Angel? How are you? Great to see you. Guten Morgen. Goop says, what are your thoughts on the Whopper? I like the Whopper. The Whopper is quite good. I also like the Burger King Impossible Burger. That's the one made from like fake burger. It's like a veggie burger, but it's pretty tasty. Let me say, what's up, Tori? What's up, Carson? Guys, thank you guys for clicking like. Thank you guys for subscribing or following me. And I appreciate it. What's up, Ryder Strong? I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. All right, the next one. Where's my pen? Guys, I need a pen. Okay, I found my pen. Next. So only 4% of millionaires have said that they've ever paid a utility bill late, compared to 1/3 of the general population. What's up, Lata? How are you? Good to see you. So I'm going to repeat that. Again, this is from Dave Ramsey's book, Babystep Millionaires. And just so you understand, he did a survey of about 1,000 millionaires, and that's where he got all of the data for his book. And again, only 4% of millionaires said they've ever paid a utility bill late, compared to 1/3 of the general population. Now, you could look at this in 2 different ways. One way you could say, oh, that makes sense because people who are millionaires probably have better financial habits than others, and as a result, they're not going to pay things late. But if you want to play devil's advocate, you could say, well, these millionaires clearly had money, so if they had money, that's probably why they didn't pay their bills late. But oh, what's up? What's up, Rube? You like my lashes? My eyelashes? Can you even see my eyelashes? What do you mean my eyebrows? But I try to tell you, I got beautiful eyelashes, and they're all real. There's nothing fake here, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing fake here. What's up, Duck, on YouTube? Guys, please click like. When I get to 5 likes on YouTube, we're almost at the bronze medal in the YouTube live stream Olympics. And when we get to 1,000 likes on TikTok, we will get to the bronze medal as well. So thank you, Ruby. Ruby. Reminds me of a song by Rancid back in the late 90s. Destination unknown, Ruby, 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 Soho. It's a good song. You should listen to that, Ruby. Ruby loves my lashes. What can I say? Ruby makes me happy because she just made my day. This thing about the millionaires and the utility bills, if you take your finances truly seriously, you're not going to pay bills late. You're not going to pay credit card bills late. You're going to always pay more than the minimum. You're going to invest in the S&P 500. You're going to read books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Here's another one, Automatic Wealth. I mean, I've got this big fat book on basic economics. And you think, well, what does basic economics have to do with my making money and investing? Everything. Supply and demand is everything. That's what determines the price of real estate. It's what determines the price of stocks. It's what determines the price of cryptocurrency. Economics is everything. So I encourage you to, what do they say? There's this thing, act as if. I don't know how much I believe it because I think it encourages people to become cocky. Like, if you're confident, act as if you're confident. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, we're going to invest in the stock market. Yeah, and it's like, stop trying so hard. But I do think you should ask yourself, if I were a millionaire, what would I do? And you'd say, okay, I would pay my bills on time. If I were a millionaire, what would I do? I would probably be investing in the stock market, real estate, crypto, everything. If I were a millionaire, what would I do? I would probably read books on how to keep my wealth. They say that wealth never lasts more than 3 generations. Usually this is because the people who earned it, let's say the grandparents, maybe brought their sons and daughters into the business and the wealth, but they didn't teach them to make sure that they teach their kids. So they didn't really learn, the parents didn't learn the lessons, they never taught their kids. So then the grandkids, they just, I don't know how to make money. I don't know how to invest. I don't know how to keep the money. And boom, after the 3rd generation, they're starting over from scratch. So this is why I'm telling you, and I'm trying to encourage you to take responsibility and start reading books on finances, start reading books on investing, and start saying, hey, what can I do to make my financial situation next week better than it is today? Okay, next. Millionaires in this study, they all learned the value of saving money, and that includes budgeting. What's up, Star Kid? How many of you save money? Every single dollar that I get, I'll take 10 to 20% and put that into savings or investments. At the end of every month, I don't have a lot of money just hanging around. So some of you might say, oh, so you're living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not. I'm just taking whatever's left over and I put it into the stock market. I put it into savings. But I don't put what's left over. As soon as the money comes in, it goes out first and foremost to investments and to savings. And how does that happen? I have a bunch of rules, different apps and this and that. Most of it's just like very consistently, every week, take $40 out of my checking and put it into this fund. Take $20 a week and put it into this savings account. Take $5 a week and put it into this stock or into this ETF. Thank you, Vanity, for the rose. I feel like silhouette, baby. I was just kissed by the rose on the grave. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now I am a professional TikToker because I just got a little bit of, I got like, how much was it? Maybe a penny, maybe 2 pennies. Can someone on YouTube give me a little love? Send a gift, send a super chat. By the way, anyone who sends more than $1 gets on the super board over here. So if you want to see your name on the big super board, it just takes $1. $1. $1 to make me holla. All right. So many people, they say, I don't know what the actual statistic is, but this is what you read most of the time. They say most Americans don't have more than $500 saved up for an emergency. Others say that most Americans could not survive 1 month if they didn't have their income. And if any of you are teenagers or middle schoolers or even college age, thanks, Moreno. Moreno. Hey, Moreno, I want more rain. Oh, meaning send me another. What's up? Moreno's got the #1 viewer badge. What's up? Thank you. I hope you're having an amazing day. I was until your bad grammar. It's YOU''RE. It's a contraction, Moreno. But since you keep sending roses, how can I criticize you? Why? Because you have bad grammar. You guys got to know the difference between your and your. What's up, Sleepy Time Videos on YouTube? Hey, can you please give a like? I can't believe it's been 25 minutes and I'm not up to 5 likes yet. I mean, that's just nonsense. By the way, we had 244 likes on TikTok. We need to get to 1,000 on TikTok and 10 here on YouTube. And how you doing, Mike? All right, so let's continue. Oh, my point is everybody, 99% of people say, how do you want me to save? How do you want me to invest? I don't even have enough to pay all my bills. You need to read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Do I have that right here on my, do I have it right here? Because I wanted to show it to you if I have it handy. I don't see it immediately. It's somewhere on one of my multiple bookshelves. The basic concept of The Richest Man in Babylon is before, anytime he gets money, the first 10% goes to himself. He pays himself first. And this concept resonated so much with me that I have an addiction. All of us have an addiction. And I think my addictions are overwhelmingly positive. I'm addicted to doing YouTube and TikTok Live. I'm addicted to saving and investing my money. And Malcolm, I don't even have, all I got is 304 followers, and you want me to help you get to 400? Help me get to 350, and then I'll help you get to 400. It's not, I can understand it if like you have 2 followers. Oh, Malcolm followed me. Can I follow you right now? Let me see if I can follow Malcolm. Follow back. There you go, Malcolm. Wait, by the way, you got 339, so you and I are kind of in the same ballpark over here, Malcolm. So congratulations. What kind of content do you do, Malcolm? I'm just talking to Malcolm Todd here on TikTok. Again, back to savings. Guys, you've got to pay yourself first. Why? Are you going to get evicted? Are you going to let that happen? No. Are you going to let your electricity go off? Are you going to let the television go off? No, those things are going to get paid. You're going to figure it out. So you should first say, okay, I'm going to take $10 every week and put it into savings and investments. Because guess what? If you don't pay yourself first, everybody else is going to get your money before. You need to put your money to work for you. And then you pay the electric bills. Then you pay the cable company. Then you pay the landlord. Angel, I'm so glad you're home too. What's up, Christopher? Pop. I don't know what that means. Like, am I like an ice pop or am I like, I'm like your pop? And, Malcolm says, I don't really post a lot. I'm just really well known in my town. I got 339 followers in 2 days. Well, la-ti-da. I've been doing TikTok for 6 months and I still can't get beyond 304 followers. Tough racket. All right, half of the millionaires in this study said that they save at least 16% of their income each month. And 30% save at least 20% of their income. I save probably 20%, if not more, of my income every month. And it goes across multiple investments, multiple savings accounts. But if you add it all up, and by the way, this is what you should do. maybe once every 6 months, is print out your bank statement and look through each one and put like, and then say, okay, if it's the grocery store, put, $100 groceries. Then the next one says Robinhood, $20. Okay, $20 investments. And then you get another one, it says, amusement park. Okay, $60, ticket for the amusement park, fun. You want to figure out where is all your money going every month. And you want to figure out how much is going to fun and how much is going to savings, how much is going to investments, how much is going to food. Because you tell me you don't have enough money to save. I'm telling you, you do. You're just spending all your money on stupid stuff. What's up, Sleepy Time says, I hope you're doing good. Oh my God. Sleepy Time, you have two. I criticized whoever this was on TikTok for bad grammar. You got two bad grammar errors. I hope it's you are. Why are you apostrophe RE? And it's not doing good. It's doing well. So I'm going to say the sentence properly. Hey, Monroe, I hope you're doing well after all that has happened this year and all. But thank you very much. For those of you who don't know, I had a very difficult time. I lost my mom in December. So it's been about 7 months. And it's surreal. It doesn't seem real. It's really hard. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's going to make me cry. But I mean, she was my best friend and we did everything together. And so now I kind of just feel lonely, and I could totally understand why, when two people are married and one of them dies and then shortly thereafter the other person dies, or if a mother loses a son or a daughter and they were super close, and it's really, really hard. And it's weird because arguably everything else in my life is probably going pretty well, but when you have a great loss like that, everything loses color. I kind of feel like my life used to be in Technicolor, and now it's grainy black and white, and it's really difficult. And I'm going to talk, I think Jade says, remember God is great. And I'm going to do a whole YouTube TikTok live about this soon, about the difference between like Christianity, Islam, and then deism, which I've just read about, which is fascinating. And there's this credible movie that you can get on Amazon for, I think it's $12. It's called The Story of Everything. No matter who you are, an atheist, a Christian, a Muslim, a physicist, if you love science, watch this. It's a documentary about basically the first half is how did the universe and the earth form. The second is an in-depth look of biological creatures, humans, animals, DNA, muscles, and the whole thing is just, and what's blowing my mind, it's every interview is with a physicist or a cosmologist or an astronomer. So you're not talking to theologians. It's every person is talking, and you learn about Einstein and you learn about Kepler and Newton and Hubble, all about how the heck the universe formed. And so I watched that twice now, and it just really, like, oh my gosh, there is a God. It's just very clear. But at the same time, when you lose somebody who's really close, it really makes you question absolutely everything. And it makes you think, what's the point of life? I mean, Lindsey Graham just died, the senator. Sam Neill died today, the great actor from Jurassic Park. Again, like my mom 7 months ago. I mean, death is so weird. And I've had a lot of it in my life. My dad died in 2017. My best friend died when I was in 5th grade. Another really good friend died when I was a freshman in high school. But nothing hit me as strongly as losing my mom. Sleepy Time says, I love you as a friend, Monroe. I'm always here for you. Thanks so much, Sleepy Time. By the way, Sleepy Time, what was your other name? You guys all change your name. Who is Sleepy Time? Because I don't remember Sleepy Time, but I think you were something else on YouTube before. Yeah, you've known me for a few years now. That's what blows my mind too. Do you remember like 3 years ago, I used to have like 50, 100 people watching me on YouTube Live? What happened to the algorithm? It's not as if somehow I'm not as entertaining as I was. If anything, I'm more entertaining and better at being a YouTube live streamer. I can't believe I have more people watching on TikTok right now with 300 followers than on YouTube with 5,950 followers. 5,950. Where the heck are they? And then three. So again, these algorithms, they drive me absolutely batty. This is really funny. Again, this is Dave Ramsey in his book, Babystep Millionaires. He says, one must save money to make money. And I think that's brilliant because everybody says, no, I need to make money to save money. But no, if you can flip that around in your head and start realizing no matter what, you need to save money first, it's going to change your mind and your mentality to the point where saving becomes a habit. Saving becomes something that you do every day. I'd say twice or 3 times a week, I'll just open up my savings app or investment app and just say, you know what? I'm putting another $5 into this fund. You know what? I'm putting another $3 into this stock. You know what? I'm putting another $20 into this savings account. Whatever it may be. Thank you very much for the sunshine. I got a pocket full of sunshine. Thank you, Angel. Uh-oh, Angel sent 100 rubies, which means ding, 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 ding. Angel gets onto the super board. So we're going over here to the super board. Angel, thank you very much. All right, let's put this over here. Let me grab the super board from over here. I need to erase Carly from before. Carly gave $2 back when I was still in Florida. All right. Angel, wait, you were the last person to give a super chat too, because I see you on there. All right, let's do Angel. $1. There we go. Angel, $1 on the super board. So thank you, Angel. Thank you very much. All right, let me put this back up. If you're wondering what that is, it's just my way of thanking people that support the channel in a significant way. So anyone who gifts or super chats or whatever, $1 or more, you get onto the super board. Let me see if they're, okay. Now, this is fascinating. You guys are going to love this. Listen up. Listen up here. Oh, but let me first see what these comments are. Thank you, Sleepy Time. Sent a gift. Thank you, Sleepy Time. I've known you for years. American Road Runner. Sleepy Time. Why do you only love me as a friend? Why can't we be a thing? Come on, Sleepy Time, American Road Runner. But anyway, I love you as a friend too, and a great supporter. Thank you so much. Sleepy Time says, I think YouTube has died. Yeah, it's very possible. Maybe TikTok is taking off. Instagram is starting to become more of a popular place for people to do that. Since CERN closed, what do you mean CERN? SCERN. Isn't that some scientific organization? Angel sends sunshine. What else do we got here? Got a gold coin from Sleepy Time. Thanks, Angel. And okay, so what's it? Guys, listen up. This is worth just listening to me, just for about what I'm going to tell you. So in the study that Dave Ramsey did, he found that 1/3 of millionaires never had a 6-figure income. Now, again, let me clarify. What's a millionaire? A millionaire is somebody who has $1 million worth of assets. That could be $300,000 in the bank and they own a $700,000 home. Or they've got $1 million in the stock market. Or they got 500 in crypto, 300 in the bank, and 200 in the stock market. Whatever. But 1/3 of them never had a 6-figure income. Why is this important? Because too many people think, oh, the only way I can become rich is if I get a 6-figure income. No, you don't. There's so many stories, if you just search on the internet, of janitors who became multimillionaires. How did they become multimillionaires? Because they saved more than 20 to 30% of their janitorial salary, and then they were able to put that into investments, and those investments blossomed. Okay, next. 1 in 3 millionaires also say that they use coupons all the time, shop for deals, and will consider secondhand clothing or discount clothing. So I drive a 2009 Jeep Wrangler. I typically buy most of my clothing on Amazon, and I look for the least expensive. This is a shirt from Amazon. These t-shirt is from Amazon. I mean, these pants are from Zara, but they don't count. But my point is, I don't mind. I'm not trying to impress people. There's that old story about the people who are trying to impress people are usually the ones who are not rich. The people who are not trying to impress people are the ones who are probably rich. Why? Because people become rich by not trying to impress people. People become rich by actually saving their money rather than spending it today. You could do one thing. You could spend all your money today and go, look at me, I got a new car. Or you could say, you know what, I'm going to buy, you keep driving my dumpy old car, and I'm going to keep putting money away into the bank. And before you know it, wow, you've put the money in investments, and you could buy 2 new cars if you wanted. But again, 1/3 of millionaires are shopping for deals, will use secondhand clothing, discounted clothing, used cars. Here's the next statistic. The average millionaire spends $412 a month on groceries and less than $200 a month eating out. Where most poor people or broke people, what do? They spend most of their money on Grubhub, Uber Eats, and eating out, and they spend a very small amount on actual groceries. One thing that you can try to do is, if you don't have money I don't have money to save, learn how to cook. Learn how to cook from scratch. Those ingredients are going to be so affordable, and then take that difference, $10, $50, $100, put it into savings in the stock market. All right, next. How did millionaires become rich? Listen up. 80% use the stock market and an IRA. So at my current job, I have this thing. It's kind of like a 401k. And every 2 weeks, I take money out of my salary and put it in there. And the company also takes money out of their coffers and invests in me. So how did most people become millionaires? They just put money, they work it somewhere for 20 years. And if they keep putting money into the 401k, before you know it, there's $1 million. All right, 73% became millionaires through savings. As I'm telling you, you can save your way to wealth. What did he say? One must save money to make money. You can save money and turn that into $1 million. 36% became millionaires through real estate. 21% through inheritance. And 5% through selling a business. Now, what I find fascinating is they didn't, that last one, 5% became a millionaire through selling a business. It doesn't say 5% became millionaires by running a business. They became a millionaire because they sold the business. Doesn't mean you can't become a millionaire by running a business. Many people do. But a lot of times when you run a business, you're building up value in the company, and the value is intangible until you sell it. Elon Musk is now the richest man in the world, a trillionaire, because of the IPO for SpaceX, but he doesn't actually have more money. He just has many shares of SpaceX stock. But if he doesn't have $500 billion that he can just spend, no, he would have to sell the stock in SpaceX, and from there, he could actually become a liquid trillionaire. But right now, the money is not in his pocket. What's the use of all these statistics? There are a lot of different ways that you can become a millionaire. The stock market, through real estate, savings, inheritance. Inheritance really isn't a strategy, though it is a strategy for some people, usually women. They're known as gold diggers. But I know there are probably some male gold diggers as well. But facts are facts, and it happens to mostly be women. So how does this inspire you? I'm just encouraging you to think creatively. If you got an idea for a business, start it. If you've got a penchant for real estate, maybe that's your ticket. If you're good at savings, I tell you that you can save your way to wealth. I know it seems crazy, but you keep adding money, more and more and more. Whoop. Again, if you put it into the stock market, I recommend the S&P 500 because it's a lot less risky than picking individual stocks. But I think maybe like put 90% of your money into the S&P and 10% into picking individual stocks. Even if you're completely wrong about the individual stocks, you'll probably still end up with more money than you started with because of the returns in the S&P. Millionaires generally steer clear of debt in any form. This kind of contradicts what he said earlier, which was there are 4 types of good debts: education, business loans, home equity loans, and mortgage loans. But the whole idea is, it says generally. Millionaires look for, is there a way for me to get this without going into debt? Again, if you want to buy a home and it's an investment property, maybe it makes sense to get a mortgage and to finance part of it. But if there is a way to get it without going into debt, it means you're going to get a greater return on investment. For example, if you're renting your property and $2,000 a month is the rent, if there's no mortgage, a lot more of that goes into your business's profit. But if you have to spend $1,000 of the $2,000 every month to go to the mortgage, that's a problem. And I told you, this is the issue I'm having with one of the condos in Florida, is that their mortgage company is increasing escrow by almost $450. And that's just cutting into the profit 100%. And I'm going to try to call them tomorrow to negotiate. But if I can't fix that, it might be best for me to sell the property, because I'd be losing money every month because the rent is not going to cover that issue. Tickle wants a prayer. 3143 wants me to say bad things. So, okay. Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm smart enough. Sleepy Time says, oh, Angel, you were homeless? I didn't know that. Sleepy Time says, wait, how do I get rid of that? Oh, there we go. A 2004 4x4 sport track truck, 170,000 miles, 2002 Harley Davidson, all paid down. Excellent. I pretty much retired at 45. I work 15 to 20 hours a week just to stay ahead. I've never been in debt, no credit cards ever. I will tell you this, though. I disagree with the people who don't have any credit cards, because clearly you have discipline, Sleepy Time. If you have discipline, credit cards are a useful tool because they are there for an emergency, number one. And gosh, well, maybe you need it. Maybe you're on vacation, you're going somewhere, and for whatever reason, your debit card doesn't work, whatever. Credit card. I keep a credit card in my wallet all the time, just in case there's a problem with the debit card, this, that, I've got a backup. Number two, when you've got credit cards and you pay them off on time, it builds up your credit. And if you've got a good FICO score, that's going to help you at some point in your life, probably. So that's my take on that. Hi, Tickle wants me to watch out. Smitty says, have you been watching the World Cup? I stopped watching kind of after the United States got kicked out, but I'm rooting for England now because I'm tired of Argentina and Spain, and France winning the World Cup. I think it's time for England. No more of the continent. Let's have the island nation win a little bit. It's time. And the final note from this book, Babystep Millionaires by Dave Ramsey, is be frugal, not flashy. I love how this says, it says on TikTok that my live is popular. There's only one person watching. If that's a popular live on TikTok, it says I'm in the top 99% of League D2. So if I'm at the top 99% with one person watching on TikTok, does that mean the all 99% of everybody else on TikTok in D2 ranking has nobody watching? These live stream algorithms are absolutely crazy. Sleepy time. If I need something, I find out how to get it. And that's not a bad strategy. That's what Robert Kiyosaki does. He says, if I want a doodad, if I want something, I figure out how I can buy a new asset that will kick off passive income that will allow me to get it. What's up? How you doing? My Arabic writing is not great anymore. I can't remember. I think the first letter is M. Marat. I don't know. How do you say your name? How do you say your name using English? Hi, Bobby. Good to see you too. And it was a long story, says Angel. But frugal, not flashy. And I want you to be frugal, not flashy. Just like Sleepy Time is, just like I am. I will say that there are two books that are interesting to read. They were both by the same guy. I forget his name. But one is The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel. And the other is The Art of Spending Money. Both of them are worth reading. But no, actually, no, it was not those books. It was another book. It's a book called I Can Teach You to Be Rich. You know, I don't remember which book it was, but it was a valuable lesson. And it said, what you think might be a waste of money and an unnecessary splurge might be to me my reward for saving elsewhere. So let's say, look, I love books. I mean, I got books everywhere. Just got this one, Surrounded by Idiots. Not you guys. I save elsewhere so that I can splurge on books. Some people save elsewhere. Oh, Menna. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, man. I hope you will follow me, and thanks for subscribing, you guys on YouTube. Maybe other people love to buy sneakers, and you see them every month. They got a brand new pair of sneakers, and you might think that's a stupid waste of money, but maybe they're saving up a portion of their money every month just for sneakers. So that maybe they're not being flashy. They're just, I like to travel, so I put a bunch of my money every paycheck into a travel fund. It doesn't look like I'm, doing anything with the money, but I am. And then, every 6 months I'll go on a trip. So you have to think about that too. There's nothing wrong. You don't have to live a completely frugal life. You have to find out, hey, I need to save money and invest money. That's the first thing. And two, I also want to do cool stuff and that make me feel like I'm enjoying life to some extent. So you got to do both. You got to save for investments and for the future, but you also need to save for the present. I've been saving $40 a week for months to get the $700 I need to get a Nintendo Switch 2 with an extra controller and a Super Mario Kart game. And some of you might say, why would you wait? Why don't you just put it on a credit card? Or Monroe, you have a good enough income. Why don't you just buy it? Because I didn't budget for it yet. That's why my financial, remember I told you I declared bankruptcy back in 2004. Never doing that again. And so I know I do not buy things unless I have budgeted for them. There's no urgent need for me to have a Nintendo Switch 2. 2 months ago, this month, 2 months from now. I think I'm up to 640. So probably in about 2 or 3 weeks, I'll go and buy it. But I'll feel good knowing I didn't spend more than I earned and I saved up, I earned the right to go splurge on something. And you should train yourself to say, and it's the same thing now, even though I love books, as soon as I think, oh, I want to buy a book, I'll go onto Amazon and look at it. And then before I buy it, I'll put add to list. And I'll see if over the next week, do I have a desire to go buy that book immediately? Most of the time I'll forget about it. So then I'll go to the library and look on there and say, is the book available there? If the book is in the library, I'll just take it out at the library. If it's not available at the library, if I'm still really interested, I'll look on Amazon again, try to buy a used copy of it because it's usually half price. And if there is no used copy, okay, then I will buy a copy. But I have savings account too that are specifically for buying new books. I have a buying new books fund. And when it gets up to 50, 100, 100, all right, cool. Now I can go on a buying book spree. But I also have another rule, can't buy a new book until I finished one of the books that is on my bookshelf. I mean, look at these. I got those are just two of my bookshelves. I got tons of books. Books to me are like shoes to most women. I keep buying them, but I don't read them as quickly as I would like. So that's why I had to put in this plan, stop buying new books until you've read some of the ones. Scuba Kevin says, how much Bitcoin do you have? Probably around $10,000 worth. I used to buy a lot of it, not anymore, because I'm not really sure exactly what's happening with it, but I'm not selling any of it. I also have some Ethereum. I have a bunch of different stable coins, mostly in US dollar stable coin. Yeah, and that's about it. How about you, Scuba Kevin? All right. So again, we're just finishing up here. This is the name of this live stream that I do is called Rose Reads, where I read books, take notes, and share with you. This one is about Babystep Millionaires. You can't see it because it's reversed. I wish it would not do that. And so you can find all of the other things on my past lives. They're all on my channel. I'm just going to look over the final notes here and comments, and then I'm going to head off for today. Scuba Kevin says, I have $100 worth of Bitcoin. That's good. I would say don't sell it. There is a possibility that it goes to $100,000, $200,000 per Bitcoin, in which case that $100 worth is going to double or triple. And let me see if there are other comments. What's up, MRAP? How are you? And more comments from Sleepy Time. Let me read this. My wife is the same way, never no credit card, but we want something or need something. My bank account does my talking for me, and I have very little bills. So good. Here's the thing. Everybody's got their system. And what works for me may not work for Sleepy Time, and what Sleepy Time does may not work for you, etc. But you've got to read constant books about finance and put together a plan for you that's going to help you save money, invest money, and stop getting into bad debt. And Angel says, I wish I could drink some coffee. Angel, it's 3 o'clock in the morning where you are. 2 o'clock in Germany. So no, you can't have any coffee. Sleepy Time says phone bill, internet, electric, plus insurance and cars. Those are good. Those are good expenses. Those are important life expenses. Sleepy Time says we usually buy our clothes at Goodwill, underwear, socks, and shoes new. Sleepy Time, I'm disappointed with you. You should buy used underwear and used socks from Goodwill. Now that shows that you have your eye on the financial prize for the future. Seriously, this guy, he's buying new underwear. What's wrong with gently used underwear? There's nothing wrong with that. Just a few stains, slightly discolored. It's great. All right. And Malcolm says you got 500. How do you have 400 followers now? Wait a second. What the heck? Malcolm, okay. I'm doing the live streaming here. And this guy, Malcolm, he joined us like 20 minutes ago and he had 350 followers. Now, 20 minutes later, he's watching me live stream and he got 50 new followers. How are you getting new followers while I'm doing the live stream? Now I figured it out. When I do live streams, people are watching everyone else's streams instead. They're getting all the credit for my live streaming. Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations, Malcolm. I'm proud of you. Something about Denny. 3 tours to Afghanistan. Okay. Thanks, Saif, for the rose. Appreciate that very much. And all right, any final, and thank you, Sleepy Time, for the floating heart. Okay. Actually, that was a pretty good wave, isn't it? Okay. I used to be able to do it. Not so much anymore. Any final questions? Today we're talking about finance. Any final? Let me see if there's anything that I want to share with you. Any final bits of wisdom? I will share this with you. I always thought that, if I just have a 6-figure income, I'll be happy and all my problems will be gone. And I have that now. And I'm talking 6 figures after tax. Not bragging, I'm just telling you. But without my mom here and not having a huge network of friends, not having a girlfriend, not being married, not having kids, like money does not bring happiness in any way, shape, or form. I'm still grieving my mom. Maybe some people are coming to Playland with me, the amusement park, on Sunday. So I do have some friends, but I don't have like really close friends like I used to have. And I read something else that says the number one thing that determines happiness is how many people you are with. And they did this study that even if you don't like somebody, if you are with that person who you don't like, you are generally happier than you would be if you were alone and not with that person you dislike, which is crazy because it just says that we are meant to be around other people. And so I realize like part of my sadness right now is I just feel very lost because my mom was who I spent all my time with. And now I don't spend time really with anybody. I go to work and I come home and maybe once a week I will talk to my friends here on YouTube and TikTok. But I mean, I haven't met 99% of you, so it's not really a real relationship. It's an opportunity for me to do public speaking. That's another thing too. It's like I'm a really good public speaker. You guys know that. And whenever I get on stage, it's such a rush. And I could see the people smiling and laughing and this and that. But then when it's over, I realize, they're all going home. And so am I. I remember this story about Johnny Carson. If you don't know who Johnny Carson was, he was called the King of Late Night. He was the one that really but really popularized the late night talk show. Today it's people like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon and folks like that. And he came across on television as such an affable and friendly and funny and happy person. But everyone who was friends with him would say that as soon as the curtain closed and he went out the back, he was miserable and so sad because he couldn't go home with the audience, or the audience couldn't come home with him. And that's sometimes how I feel, doing public speaking or doing YouTube or TikTok. I'm having a great time now, and then I stop the live stream and I go, I'm alone. I'm in my apartment. And that's tough. Before, when I was living in Florida and I would do the live streams and I felt lonely, I would just walk over and see my mom. So it's just a fascinating thing about again, I was talking about money, that it's not going to solve all your problems. As Robert Kiyosaki says in Rich Dad Poor Dad, he says, I've been poor and depressed and rich and depressed. It was much better when I was rich and depressed. At the same time, money doesn't solve every single problem. Thanks, Jaden. I appreciate the follow here on TikTok. And Sleepy Time says it gets easier losing a loved one. But you know what? That's so sad too. Like, it gets easier losing a loved one, because it kind of just feels like, oh, you're just accepting the fact that the person who you loved is gone, and you're like okay with it. I understand what you're saying, and it's with all good intentions, and I know you're right, because now 7 months later I'm doing much better than I did a month after it happened. But and it's just weird too, because then you realize, you know what, I'm next. Graham died at, oh, okay, you guys are back. Two of my childhood friends, I was trying to get in touch with them. They're my age, 48. One of them died 2 years ago. One of them died 3 years ago. One of them had a heart attack. The other, I'm not sure. But, I mean, you could die today. You could die today. I could die today. And that's just crazy. Sleepy Time says, I lost my brother in 2009, my dad and best friend, plus my mom in 2020. We're all alone. Just my wife and I left. Yeah, gosh. Sleepy Time, I completely get it. Again, misery loves company. You know, you can't compare somebody's pain, but on the bright, you've got your wife, and your wife has you. All I have is the family dog, the dog that my mom and I had. And it's wonderful that I have the dog, and Dancer is very cute, and she reminds me of my mom. But I mean, having a dog is not the same thing as having a person. So I just count your blessings that you've got your wife, and maybe some good news will come my way. Maybe I'll find a girlfriend. Maybe I'll find a wife too, and that would be nice. All to cancer, Sleepy Time. Now that's just crazy too, because it runs in the family. Makes you feel any better? My mom and dad both succumbed to Alzheimer's, so I'm going to keep doing as best I can until my memory just disappears. But the good news about Alzheimer's, I'll forget all my misery. Let me see. My dad found a cat that's missing an eye. That's great, Real. I'm glad you found a cat. Kay joined. Good to have you here, Kay. All right, gentlemen, ladies, God bless you all. As I said, I'm going to do a live stream maybe this weekend about this fascinating theological epiphany or discussion or insights that I've been getting. Because I'm trying to understand God a little bit better. Losing my mom, it's kind of just really, I don't have a firm footing anymore. And so I've been reading books about God and our purpose here on earth. That's why, again, I watched that that movie called The Story of Everything, which you can find on Amazon. I recommend you guys get it. It is really good. What am I talking about, Senor? We were talking for about an hour about finance and investing, and then we switched to, unfortunately, talking about death. I lost my mom recently. Sleepy Time on YouTube's family members too, and I was talking about how money does not take away the pain. I mean, money is nice, but it's not the most important thing. And it's like I'm making a 6-figure income now and don't really care. I don't have financial. I don't have to worry about how am I going to, but I'd give up this money to have my mom back here, to have my dad back here. So it's a strange thing. What's up, Ines? How are you? What's up, Yuri? Quinn will restore the working man to former glory. And all right, guys, let me see, what are you seeing here? Buys 317. What the heck are all those numbers? I have no idea why Sleepy Time is giving random numbers here on YouTube. Ines, I'm glad you're doing well. Thank Jay Rice. and and will. What's up, Sinjen? This is what I got. I love it how I love it that. Oh, let me write that down. Let me write that down. 1 second. Cool. Awesome. I got it. Thank you, Sleepy Time. Keep an eye out. And let me see some messages here. Jay Rice says, sorry for your loss. Yeah, thank you so much. And I hope you guys have your mom and dad right now. And I hope you don't have to worry about mourning them for a very, very long time because it's extremely difficult. Ines, I'm glad you're doing well. I'm okay. I'm always happier after I do a live stream on TikTok and YouTube because I like public speaking and talking to you guys just makes me feel better. So that's nice. And the unions will rise. Ines, how old are you? I'm 48 years young. Ines, Ines lost her dad when she was 11. And that's the thing. As much as I'm in pain, losing my mom, like now, can't even imagine what it's like you losing your dad at 11 years old. I don't want to compare them because they're very different. When you use your dad at 11, it's so tough because you're so young, but you also didn't know your your dad as well as I knew my mom because my mom, I had her for, 48 years. But either situation is it's just madness and difficult. And Ines, I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're not like 12 years old and you lost her last year. And Vela says, I apologize for asking. You're a good guy. Vela, I don't know what you were asking. So did you say something? No. No, it's okay that you're asking. No problem. And okay. Roan says, how long have you been in ICE? I work as an attorney, but I'm not working with ICE. Shannon Bream followed the live creator. That's hilarious. Wait a second. Is that really Shannon Bream? That's weird because it says 101,000 followers. Do you know, Shannon, if you're watching right now, let me show you what book I have. Check this out. So, Shannon, if this is the Shannon Bream from Fox News, got your book. I don't know if you were here, but I after talking about the financial stuff, I was talking about the fact that I lost my mom. Anyway, your book has been helpful. So thank you for that. And guys, if that is Shannon Bream, it says she's got 101,000 followers on here, and she is from Fox News. It's very, very impressive. I'm very honored that she is. That's crazy. What's up? Yeah, Ines. Yeah, I always say time heals all wounds, but waiting is a bitch. And it also leaves scars. So, I mean, yeah, the waiting is horrible, and then you're changed forever. And other people who have lost family members and stuff, they say that it gets easier, but you're never back to who you were before. You never return to the. I was telling people a few months ago, whatever. It's like I feel like, even though I became a man, when I turned 18, became a man when I went to college in Switzerland for 2 years. I became a man when I got back from Iraq, surviving that. I was a soldier and a combat veteran. So really, the time when I really became an adult, a man, is when my mom died. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's who wants to be an adult? Like, I don't like that I'm the adult in the room. It's just, it's not good. I love how now I've got like, I was about to stop doing the live streams and suddenly all these people are here. Sleepy Time says, that's so cool that Shannon Breen is in your live and you have her book. Shannon, I don't know if you're still watching, but how the heck did you find my TikTok live stream? That's crazy. And how wild that I have your book. That's really, really funny. Sleepy Time on YouTube says I'm 59. And yeah, I will send you a message. Absolutely. As soon as we get done here. Quinn says, I lost my mom too before my birthday. Quinn, my God. I mean, all of you guys, you know what's the weirdest thing? When you lose your mom or you lose your dad or your son or your daughter dies or your best friend or something, you feel somehow that you're the only person. You feel like somehow you have a unique grief and that no one else knows how you feel. And yet, right this moment, right here, right now, probably 20 people just lost their mom. Right now. Boom. Probably another 20 people just lost their mom right now. So it's what's up, Elijah Storm on YouTube? Great to see you. Sleepy Time says, that's exactly how I felt when my dad passed. I'm now an adult. Yeah, and I don't like it. And you know what it is? I think it's because I realize, you would think that I really am, I recognize my mortality when I was in Iraq in a combat zone. But no, I realized it after I lost my mom and my both parents are not here anymore. And you realize I'm next. That's it. The next step is I die. And maybe that changes if I find a wife or I don't know, or maybe just after time will pass and I'll feel better. I don't know. But Quinn, and to have, Quinn says, I lost my mom before my birthday on TikTok. And I lost my mom right before Christmas. Literally, thanks, Elijah, about the nice hair. Yeah, I got my summer cut. Literally like 3 days prior, we were in the car and singing Christmas carols. And we just put up the Christmas tree. It's crazy, like 7 months later, how much emotion you still have when you lose somebody. And you don't, it still doesn't feel real. It's like, how could she not be here? And I know other people feel the same way about so many people, they just lost their sons or they lost their daughters or lost a husband or a wife or, millions of people today are losing people and they all feel like me. It's like, oh my God, what a life we live that we have to go through such suffering. They always say it's better to have loved and lost than never have loved at all. I'm like, I don't know. I kind of feel, like all the girls that broke my heart, I kind of feel like I wish that I'd never met them because that feeling of heartbreak is absolutely miserable. And you all know what I'm talking about. It's not fun. So I could just have that eternal sunshine of the spotless mind and just say, I'll forget about all the heartbreaks. Sleepy Time says, it's okay, brother, let it out, let it go. Yeah. I honestly feel like you guys are my therapy, better than any psychiatrist or psychologist. So what's your therapy? I do YouTube and TikTok live, and I tell them all my life troubles. What's up, Adam, on YouTube? How are you? Nice to see you. You missed all the good action. Let me see some more comments. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of comments here. I'm sorry, I'm just reading now. Ines says, do you have kids? Unfortunately, I do have kids. It's you guys on TikTok and YouTube. Chad King says, are you Jewish? My dad was Jewish. My mom was Christian. So I'm kind of half Jewish. half Christian. Were you fighting for the IDF? I would fight for the IDF, but they have not yet drafted me. Someone's asking me what I'm doing. I'm doing a TikTok and YouTube live, and your jawline could cut a tree down. Wow. Do you think I have a nice jawline? Oh, let me tell you the story about I thought it's funny. I said I was going to stop the live stream like 30 minutes ago, but all of a sudden people are showing up. I got 11 people on TikTok. You're right, Sleepy Time. YouTube is dead. How can I have 3 people on YouTube with 6,000 subscribers, and then here on TikTok, I've got 300 followers and have 11 people watching me? That makes absolutely no sense. But, oh, God, I went on this date with this super beautiful girl back, I don't know, probably like 15 years ago or whatever. And I was super nervous. I didn't do that. And I wasn't sure if she really liked me or not. But looking back, I'm like, dude, what the heck was wrong with you? Well, we went for a walk, and then she says to me, my gosh, you're like a Roman god. You have the Roman jaw, the Roman nose. If there were any time to kiss the girl, that was when I should have done it. So anyway, that's my lesson to you guys. If anyone says you look like a Roman or Greek god, that's the time to kiss that person. Okay, Ines says, don't cry. Thank you, appreciate it. I'm back now. Vela says, it's okay to cry sometimes. You're strong, you're still fighting the struggle. It's life, we need to accept it. Will says, to know someone is to love someone. What's up, Harry? I don't know who Harry Riley is. Quinn followed me. Thank you so much, Quinn. Are there more followers? Hold on. How many donuts can you stack? I don't know, but I did stop at Jim Hortons right at the train station after I got off today, and I got a delicious USA donut with all these delicious sprinkles, and it always tastes yummy. X is, if there were a gay man on your back, would you beat him off? So as I always say, gay is just another word for happy. So if there's a very happy person on my back, I guess I'm giving them a what the hell, a piggyback ride? And that person is happy? That means I'm probably happy too. So no, the answer is no, I would not beat him off my back. I would run around and go, yay! Thank you, Bakwa, for following me. And let's see. Ines says you need a wife, dude. That's what everyone's telling me, but I'm not going to marry somebody just to have a wife. I think that's why a lot of people get divorced. They just marry somebody just because they feel like I shouldn't be single. I will marry someone. I'll tell you right there. Here's my perfect. So if anybody of you know, A, someone who I think is attractive, of course. 2, someone who is, I think, as smart as I am, so that at least we could have intelligent conversations. 3, loves the fact that I do YouTube and TikTok Live, and I'm a performer, that I have entrepreneurial dreams. I have this not-for-profit called Break Diving. That person, a potential wife, would need to love that and be a part of it, because I consider break diving part of my child. By the way, you can download the mobile app on App Store and Play Store. It's called Break Diving. Don't wait for opportunities to float to the surface. Dive in and make your big breaks in life. It's a not-for-profit just designed to help people not only get through life, but to get through life with success, with happiness, with friendship. So if any of you guys want a better social media, we call ourselves the anti-social media because we're very different from anything else out there. And I guess someone who likes to travel, because I love traveling around the world. Someone who likes to maybe ride bikes or go hiking, go wakeboarding, snowboarding, things like that. Someone who likes to read, because, yeah, I'm not getting rid of my books, let me tell you that. Ines says, what about her appearance? Well, like I said, somebody who's I find attractive, right? Something I've learned, and I have a PhD in psychology, and one of the studies that I read about during my studies was, well, there's a lot of things I did, but a bunch of them are coming into my mind. One of them is that if someone who you initially think is unattractive physically ends up having an incredible personality and makes you laugh and makes you feel great about yourself, suddenly you will actually start to think that they are more physically attractive. By the same token, if there is someone who is a 10 out of 10 on the physicality scale, but then the more you hang out with them, the more you realize this person is dumb, this person is mean, this person is annoying. They slowly, that appearance is subjective even to us. Even, yeah, they turned ugly. And honestly, this is the problem that I've had with every girl that I've ever dated. Some of them are gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. But then the more that I'm spending time with them, I'm going, oh my gosh, she can't talk to me. So monotonous, or why is she criticizing I once dated this girl and TikTok or YouTube, but I would be singing. I'd be like singing Broadway shows. Hey there, you with those stars in your eyes. Love never made a fool of you. You used to be two white eyes. And she'd be like, kicking, stop that. Stop. I'm like, what? And I'm dancing. I'm prancing on the sidewalk. She goes, you're so embarrassing. You're embarrassing me. Stop acting like an adolescent. So, and I tried so hard to like her, but she was trying so hard to change me. And she was trying so hard to mold me. And she actually said to me, she goes, Monroe, you look so good on paper, but in reality, and I'm like, I look great in real life too. You just don't like me. You like this idea of this person on paper. But no one is who they are on paper. If any of you have interviewed people for a play, for a job, for a volunteer role, sometimes they have the greatest resume and they come in and they're like, what the heck? This is the same exact person. But for another job, that personality might fit in perfectly. Let me see these comments on YouTube. I have a legal question for you, says Adam. Adam, you can ask the legal question now. If I can provide some general legal information, I can. I can't actually give legal advice on YouTube, but I can just give you some general principles. Sleepy Time says YouTube has died, it's done. Yeah, I don't know what, they've got to do something. I tell you this, they've got to figure out a way to give creators that are, like literally, it makes 0 sense for me to have 6,000 followers on YouTube and 3 people watching me, and I've got 300 people on TikTok and 10 people watching me. How does that make sense in any rational world? It doesn't. Adam says, don't call it Jim Hortons around Canadians. Isn't it called Jim Hortons? What's the name of the place? And it has donuts. Sleepy Time, I've been with my wife 26 years. I can't believe that that's amazing. 26 years with someone. I salute you that you've been with your wife for that long. Hi, Melody. Hey, I got your emails, Melody. We got to set it up. We'll do a TikTok, YouTube live together. I'm not ignoring you. Life is just so busy, and I've got so many things I'm juggling. I got this new email system, by the way. It's called Leave Me Alone. If any of you guys are overwhelmed with way too many emails and too much spam and all that, Leave Me Alone is really cool. I signed up. It's like $60 for the year. And it allows you to, it's just a really cool thing. And it'll just help you with your inbox. It takes about 2 weeks to kind of learn it and figure it all out and set it up. But now I will never not use them because it's amazing. Ines says they make you live in misery. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like life is miserable enough, Ines. So why would I want to bring someone into my life to make it even worse? I want a wife or a girlfriend who's going to make my life easier. Now, the same token, her purpose is not to make my life easier. But my purpose is also to make her life easier. So I need to find somebody who, like again, you have that symbiotic relationship where it just works. And it's very, very hard. And I'm not going to marry somebody unless I find somebody who I think really, really works. Elijah says, did you see my comment? No, I didn't, Elijah. What did you say? About my haircut? Adam's going back to my favorite city in the world. Is that in Mexico? Where are you going in Mexico? They call it, Timmy's. Got it. Tim Horton. Oh, Tim Horton. And Nelly says, I don't know why, but the video quality is bad. If so, it's because YouTube is just getting all funky. That's all I can tell you. Let me see if there's some more comments here on TikTok. And Apple user says, have you ever been with a man? I have been with a man. My dad was a man. I've been in his presence. I've have a lot of other male friends, but no, I am not. I've not been with a man in that way, if that's what you're asking me. Ines says, you'll find her, just be patient. And Ines liked the live. Thank you so much. I love how it says the AI summary is a creator shares life lessons on dating and finding love. And this started off as being a live stream about finance and investing. By the way, if any of you, I have screwed up so many relationships that I wrote a book on it called Romantic Suicide. And it's called like the 50 Unbreakable Rules of Dating. So if you want a book on what not to do when you're dating somebody, check out Romantic Suicide by Monroe Mann. Awesome, Adam. You're going to Mexico City. Elijah says you should buy stocks in Sony because they own Spider-Man and there's a highly anticipated Spider-Man movie. So that's a good tip. That's a good tip, Elijah. Maybe I'll do some investigation on that. Maybe consider buying some Sony stock. Thank you very much. See, that's how the stock market works. You get a tip and then you do investigation. Don't buy a stock just because someone told you. Make sure you're doing your own research as well. What's up, Slaughter Party? By the way, thank you for following me. Wow, we got 2,100 likes on TikTok. We got the silver medal on this TikTok live stream Olympics. That's pretty amazing. And on YouTube, why are we still stuck with 3 likes? Can we get 2 more likes at least? I'm not stopping the live stream until we get to 5 likes on YouTube. Ines says, I'm in a relationship for 3 years and 4 months because of the good communication. That is key too, Ines. Not only is it have to be the right person, but there has to be good communication. And let me tell you this, good communication is the key to any relationship. If it's a business relationship, if it's a mentor-mentee relationship, if it's an employer-employee relationship, you will have a better relationship with anyone you're working with in life with good communication. Same thing, YouTuber to YouTubee, TikToker to TikTokie. That's what I'm calling you guys. You guys are YouTubees and TikTokies, right? I'm a YouTuber, you're a YouTubee. I'm a TikToker, you're a TikTok. You watch me. Because my name is Monroe Mann. I'm going to make history. Do I like chicken nuggets? I do like chicken nuggets. Especially the best chicken nuggets are from either McDonald's or Chick-fil-A. And thanks for liking stage. Appreciate that. What's up, Ashton? Let me see. Don't waste times. You got one for me. What do I have from you, Nilesh? And Nilesh, as I meant to say, don't waste time on dating. Oh, I had no idea what that is. Don't waste time on dating unless you date to marry, and you got a like for me. Yeah, I agree. You know what? I finally, for the first time ever, I deleted every single dating app. I am no longer on Tinder, Hinge, Coffee Meets Bagel, League. I mean, I was on every single one because I was so determined to find. Now I just feel like, you know what? All those dating apps were great about 15 years ago when you actually had profiles and you had to read them and then you could send a message to anybody. Now it's just swipe, 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 swipe. At least for me, like 99 out of 100, I never make a match. So you feel dumber and dumber and more unattractive as you're swiping right. And then on the 100th one, you get a match and they're like, oh, hey, will you join my Instagram? Or, so where are we going for dinner? And I'm like, look, I'm not taking you to dinner on a first date. I just want to meet you for coffee. Like, well, that's cheap. Don't you even have a job? You cheap. And I'm like, yeah, I have a job. They're like, well, clearly you don't, loser. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like women have, because of social media and the internet, they have just become horrible on these dating sites. The rest of my life, then be on those dating sites for one moment longer and feel like a loser. But thanks, Bree. Bree goes, hey, handsome. What's up, hottie? How's it going? I'm assuming you're a hottie because your name is Bree. And just saying, you don't have a name like Bree unless you're a hottie. Am I right or am I right? You go, girl. By the way, I could totally talk like a gay person if people want. I could totally like oh my god. So I was at the market yesterday, and like so this guy, he had the most amazing abs. I mean, like to die for. Oh my god. But alas, I'm not gay. Except that I'm happy. So I'm always gay. I'm 100% gay because I'm super happy. Melody says, I haven't been around. Both my parents are not well. They're in their 80s. They've been together since they're 18. My dad was an Air Force intelligence station in Turkey. My mom is a Turk. Memnum oldum. I don't know if you speak Turkish, but that means nice to meet you. And well, spend as much time as you can, Melody, with your parents. 100%. I'm so glad that I spent the last 6 months of my dad's life caring for him, and I'm glad that I spent the last 5 years of my mom's life caring for her. And I'll always look back on that. And even though I made a bunch of mistakes financially and otherwise, and getting angry with him and impatient, overall, I did a really good job under the circumstances caring for both my parents. And I'm glad that I took time off work. I'm glad I focused on them and did things with them and traveled with them, and do the same thing, Melody. Sleepy Time says we don't talk nest. That's right. This is a family channel. Nella Chica says dating apps are horrible. Again, they were not always horrible. The dating apps were awesome when everybody thought you were lame for going on a dating app. But then they became mainstream. The moment that, and then actually, you know what happened? The iPhone came out. When was the iPhone? 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. That is when dating apps went downhill because the touchscreen allowed the swipe. Before then, you had to go on your computer, and you actually got to meet girls or guys, and you had like paragraph after paragraph. It was like pen pals. It was like romantic pen pals. I don't know what you would call dating sites today because they are, if the devil made a mobile app, it would be modern dating sites. I mean, that's what they are. They just suck the life out of you. Or maybe if a vampire devil made up. Yeah. Adam says they're like hookup sites. That's what they are now. But Adam, they're not even that. I don't know what they are because they literally, these sites, these mobile apps for dating. Oh, here, just a different thought. They don't make money if you find a long-term girlfriend or boyfriend. They make money on the free. Most of the people use it for free based on advertising. And then there are people who pay pro. Most of the time, if you don't pay pro, you get no use of them whatsoever. But they have a vested interest in keeping you lonely. And in some ways, I think that is why they've become these hookup apps, because if that's the only use they have, you're going to keep using it week after week, month after month. But if you're actually trying to find somebody, when I was living in South Beach in Florida, some company got in touch with me. I don't know how I got in touch with them, but this was an AI was just starting out, and it was an AI dating site, and they said, or it was an AI or something. I don't know if it was AI or whatever, but it said, "We will find the person you will marry, and if you get married, only then do you pay us the fee." And I said, "Well, that sounds cool. So I don't pay anything up front, but if they find someone who I marry, and it's within like 3 years of them introducing me, I pay them the fee." And I said, "Okay, how much is the fee? Get ready, $50,000." And I said, are you serious? You want me to pay 50? I said, "You know what? I really want to get married, but not that much. I have no desire to pay $50,000 to find," and like, he goes, "But even if it's the woman of your dreams," I said, "No, thanks. Not interested." Can you imagine? Think about this. If I said to him, I said, "Look, how about this? I'll give you $50,000 if we get married and we've been married for 5 years. If we've been married for 5 years, maybe it's worth it. But I'm not going to just pay you $50,000 just because we ended up getting married." And then I thought, well, doesn't that encourage us just to never get married? Because you guys know I'm a lawyer. So I'm thinking, what are the loopholes? What are the legal loopholes that I could go through here? Let me see. Ines says, in the dating apps, people are just being dirty 24/7. Yeah, honestly, it's not. They're not a good environment. And so literally, if I'm going to find a wife or girlfriend, it's going to happen on my commute, going to and from work on the train. I'm going to start taking dance classes again. I'm going to go to Paradance in 14th Street in Union Square. Maybe I'll find a dancer who is interested in me, and vice versa. Maybe somebody on YouTube or TikTok who sees me says, "Hey, I think you're awesome." It could happen. Honestly, I was thinking of starting a site called, Monroe is looking for a wife or something, and create my own dating site, and then set up Google ads or whatever to just drive traffic to there. And hey, maybe somebody will say, "That guy's got a website and he's pretty cool." I know Gabe. I know a lot of Gabe, so I don't know which Gabe you're talking about. And it says, and the next day yeah, can you imagine if my poor wife dies after I paid the $50,000? That's a very good point. You're a young lawyer in training. That is a very good thing that we would want to include in this contract. If my wife must survive, at least, and if my wife ends up pushing me over a cliff within 3 years of getting married, we don't have to pay I don't have to, like, my estate doesn't have to pay the $50,000. If that's the case, the company must pay me $1 million because you introduced me to someone who ended up killing me after I got married. That's depressing too. Again, it's so funny. We all hope, "Oh my gosh, I want to have a girlfriend. I want to have a boyfriend. Oh, I'm so lonely." And then you end up finding a girlfriend, boyfriend, and that person ends up killing you. Great luck, huh? Yeah, so I don't know Gabe. I still don't know who you're talking about. Ines is laughing. Oh, the dog is making funny noises over here. Dancer, she makes these, and then, gosh, it makes you feel terrible. You're like, "Oh my gosh, what does she want?" I think she wants to go OUT, but we're not going to tell her that. I still think it's crazy that guys, what do you guys think? Let me ask you this. So Shannon Bream is one of the hosts on Fox News, and she's also the author of this book. Literally, somebody on TikTok named Shannon Bream came on here, followed me, and I checked. She has 120,000 followers. I kind of feel like that. If that were not her, why would she have 120,000 followers. So I'm kind of excited. Maybe it was her. Let me see here. Got some more comments on TikTok. Adam says dating apps were good 20 years ago. I agree. I used to get dates very easily on TikTok. I mean, on TikTok, on the dating sites. But someone said to me, "Man, Monroe, maybe it's because you're just getting older. Maybe." But I still think I look pretty young, and I think I'm even cooler now than I was back when I was 25. I mean, now I'm a professional YouTube, TikTok live streamer, ladies and gentlemen. Ines says it was probably her. That would be cool. Let me tell you this. My mom, huge fan of Fox News, and I hope you're looking down, Mom. I'm hoping you're up in heaven and you're seeing that Shannon Bream actually followed me on TikTok. You know what? And that's the reason why I also think it's probably her. It said she's only following 300 people. So if she's following 300 people, but she has 100,000 followers, I think that was probably her. How random that she was actually on here. Like, what would make Shannon Bream find me and then follow me? I'm really hoping I can send a message to her on TikTok or some way. Maybe I could find an email address and go, what the heck? What was it that inspired you to follow me on TikTok? Hi, Zoe. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Zoe, because it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. What's up, Hamza? I don't know if I'm lucky in this. We'll see. I mean, I'll never get my hopes up about anything, because when I was younger, in my 20s, and I was really hard charging with show business in New York City, I had so many events happen where I thought, oh my God, I cannot believe, like I met Ed Norton at a bar and I thought my things were going to take off. I met Adam Sandler. I was in the movie Swim Fan, and I was on set with Jason Ritter, Erica Christensen, director John Paulson, and like all these things. The A&E wanted to maybe do a documentary about my band at the time, Running for Famous. And I had a huge investor who wanted to put $1 million into my wakeboarding movie. And he pulled out right before I got deployed to Iraq. And he ended up becoming Tom Cruise's #1 executive producer. I mean, I had so many opportunities where I was almost famous, almost successful, almost had a big break. And so I in my older years, I'm starting to become a little bit more tempered. I'm excited that maybe Shannon Bream was here on my TikTok and followed me. Will it lead to anything? Who knows? Maybe she never reads her messages on TikTok. And yes, 098098567. That reminds me of the television show The Strain, where he was like, the vampire always called Stracian, whatever his name is, Strazakian, by his concentration camp number. Yes, I was a soldier in the United States Army. I'm a Bronze Star nominated Iraq War veteran. I was in Iraq. I spent 3 years as a intelligence officer for a intelligence unit, which sounds crazy. Then I got transferred to the north, to basically Kurdistan. And I was then working embedded with the 4th Iraqi Army, training them on field intelligence operations for the remainder of like 8.5 months that I was in Iraq. I look back, one of them, it was a scary time in my life, but also the most adventurous, exciting time in my life. And my life has been very black and white since, because nothing can compare to that adrenaline of you. I know it sounds weird, but of potentially dying every single day in service of your country, doing a mission. I'm a skydiver now. I'm a licensed skydiver. I've done 54 skydives. One of the jumps, my parachute opened and it was tangled. I had to get rid of the parachute and open the reserve chute. Yet that adrenaline rush is still nothing like what I felt for the year in Iraq. I think because the adrenaline rush from skydiving was just 1 minute or like 10 minutes of intense adrenaline, where in Iraq, it was really a constant. You were feeling it all the time, this undertow of stress. And Adam says, you're a lawyer. What to do? Marry them after 3 years and 1 day. Come to Mexico City. Adam, let's set something up. I mean, I'm starting to accumulate leave at my job, coming to Mexico. I'm sure there are direct flights from New York City. I've never been to Mexico City. So the answer is yes, I will come and visit you. Can I stay on your couch? Because I'd like to conserve funds. Nilichik, I used to work with a medic who watched Fox News at work all day long. I used to hide a remote from him. Oh, I'm so sorry he passed away recently. So many people are dying right now. It's just crazy. I can't believe that Sam Neill died. I can't believe that Lindsey Graham died. And both of them were just sudden. My mom passing away, so sudden. Sleepy Time says, the more I looked for a woman, I'm looking at YouTube, the harder it got to find one. But when I accepted I had no women and deal with it myself and not go out of my way to find one, boom, I found my wife. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it too. It's like, look, I got enough on my plate, doing my job, working on break diving, caring for the dog, caring for my children on YouTube and TikTok, that I don't have time to find. I'm just going to do the stuff that I like to do. I'm going to go to dance classes again. I'm going to keep doing YouTube and TikTok. I'm going to ask Shannon Bream if she's got a nice young hottie that she wants to hook me up with. What's up, Shannon? I hate that expression, but I'm going to use it. I'm single and I'm ready to mingle. Actually, but you know what it is? I'm not interested in mingling. I have no desire to mingle. I don't know what I have. I don't know what I want to do. I would like to... I want to feel like what it's like to be a woman, because women just get guys hitting on all the time. I'd like women just hit on me. So I could say, you know what? I'll take your number and I'll consider getting back to you later. And then I'll walk by and I'll look at my friend and go, no, never, like never. I'm not going to, no way am I writing her back. Oh my God, no. Dude, ew, ew. What's up, Jai? Hamza says God's plans. Am I from Libya? Oh, from 9 I'm like, Ines, what are you talking about? Of course I'm not from Libya. Jeff says, I like the way you work it, Daddy. Work it, 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 work it. And Ines says, a woman's life, it's not good. Well, I don't know. All I could say is women have to wait in line for the restroom, and men just go right through to the urinal. In that sense, it's good. But we also have to put up with not knowing, do women like me because of who I am, or like, do they want to go out with me just because of dinner? That's why I bought a domain name called Let's Date Dutch. And because I'm thinking like at some point, maybe I'll actually turn it into a dating site where you agree, both parties, that each party pays for themselves for the first 3 dates. So you guys can go ice skating. Each of you pays for him and herself. You can go to a nice dinner, but you each order your own food and and you split the check. You can go to an amusement park, but you each pay your own tickets. Because I feel like if you go for 3 dates and you haven't neither of you had to spend money on the other person, then the only thing that you're learning is, do you actually like that person for who he or she is? And it has nothing to do with finances. I don't think finances should come into a relationship until at least the 4th date. And then maybe then you could talk about it and say, okay, so would you mind telling me how much you make? Would you mind telling me how many debts you have? Which are important things. I'm never going to marry somebody if I don't know exactly how many debts she has. And this girl that I dated in China, I used to live in Shanghai, and we ended up losing touch, whatever. And then I found out that she got married. and then find out that she got divorced, and she got in touch with me. And I was like, oh, cool. All right, so she's divorced, and now she wants a little bit more of her American hottie. And then the more I talked to her, I found out that she married this guy without looking into his finances, and apparently he had a bad gambling habit, and he incurred massive amounts of debt on his wife's credit card or something like that, or the Chinese equivalent, because I don't know if they have credit cards. And then they got divorced, and now she is struggling to pay for the debts. And like, she wanted to marry me, and I was so shocked. I'm like, where is this coming from? And I was really, what's the word? Touched that she wanted to marry me. But the more I investigated, the more I realized, oh, I think she wanted to marry me because she wanted me to kind of take care of the debts. And it was kind of sad because like, oh, that's why you were interested. But guys, you girls, you don't know how many guys feel so taken advantage of. You're not even being rich. It's just girls just expect the guy to pay for everything, and they don't care about impoverishing the guy. It's just like, no, I don't care. You got to pay for me, and you got to take me to a 5-star restaurant. And if not, well, then you're poor and you're broke. And I'm like, what the hell? I'd rather be single for the rest of my life than deal with any woman who is like that. Why don't I marry an Arab girl if you want an untouchable girl? I have no idea what you mean by an untouchable girl, in asks. What's an untouchable girl? Why would I marry a girl who I'm not allowed to touch? Oh, here's my wife. Why don't you have your arm around her? Oh, she's untouchable. Can't touch her. So you don't kiss her? Oh, no, never kiss her. Never. Let me see here. Sleepy Time sent a star. Thank you, Sleepy Time, for that. Nelchick says, that's exactly what happened to me. As soon as I said I quit looking, I'm just going to be a single cat lady when I get old, and that's when I met my husband. Look at that. That's proof positive that even cat ladies can find true love. I will say this. If somebody has like 7 or 8 cats, I don't know if I could do it. Same thing with 7 or 8 dogs. It's like, look, 1 dog is enough. If I walk in and there's 27 cats and there's smell of catnip and cat litter everywhere, I don't know. Sleepy Time says you're going to do Surfer Dude some more and more singing music vids for your fans. Thanks, Sleepy Time. Now, because I always felt a guy should make a first step. I don't mind making the first move, and I'm good at making the first move. But today, because of the me first movement, and because of the way girls are, and the way that everyone is taught to be creeped out by anyone who talks to them, because women today and girls and young women and young men have no social skills whatsoever. If you go up and talk to someone and go, hey, how are you? Hi, my name is Monroe. Hey, would you like to hang out sometime? They're like, ew, like, no. As soon as you try to it's not even with women, it's just trying to make a connection with anybody. I try to make friends with people all the time in real world and go, oh, hey, would you like to go to a movie? Hey, would you like to, go wakeboarding? No one wants to do anything. Like making friends, I think in general is harder today, but especially if you're an adult and you're not in school. This is again why breakdiving. I'm convinced breakdiving is going to take off. It's going to be a huge success. And it's going to allow people to find people who do the same things together, and I think it'll kind of reduce a bunch of loneliness. Lexi says, hey, how are you? My name is Monroe. Would you like to hang out sometime soon? Yeah, I do that, but they're like, nah, no. And you know what it is? Everyone else has got their own life. They've got their own family. They got their own friends. I think it's also because I'm older, and like most of the people who I meet are either married or divorced and have kids and whatever. And like, so they've already got the things. So they're not really looking for, I'd say one of my closer friends right now in this building is this guy who's 22 years old. He's from Turkey. And I kind of feel like I connect with him better because he doesn't have kids. He's not married. that's who I am. I'm kind of like a freewheeling 22-year-old. I'm just not 22. So, all right. Adam says, I have a friend who's an attractive woman, and when she was single, didn't want to cook. She went on a few dates with guys. Yeah, see? I don't like that. I don't like women who take advantage of men to get a free meal. It's like, that's not why we are going out with you. I'm not going out with you so that I have the honor of your presence. And because of your presence, you deserve a free meal. No, I'm trying to meet you halfway. And again, I don't mind paying for somebody, but I'm not going to pay for a girl on every first date. Let's just say there are some women who go on a date every night and they get a different guy to pay for them. That's demoralizing. That's not cool. Okay, let me try to finish up these comments here, and then I got to head off to bed. Nelchik says, it's awful. Some women are definitely gold diggers. I agree. Nelchik says, I don't have cats. Just was thinking I'm going to end up like an old single cat lady. Sleepy Time has 2 dogs, 4 cats, all inside rescue animals. Okay, that's fine. If you're kind of caring for rescues and you have a husband and wife too, that's different. Angel is back. What's up, Angel? Let me see the last comments. Any more comments on TikTok? All right. So before we get any more comments again, it's a pleasure. Guys on TikTok, thank you for following me if you haven't already. Wow, we got to 2,500 likes on TikTok. We got the 5 likes I wanted on YouTube. We even got to 6. Hooah! And we have 5 people watching on YouTube, which is the most we've had tonight, which is fantastic. And our highest on TikTok was around 12 people today, which is good. So I think I'm going to have a bunch more followers on both YouTube and TikTok. Thank you for your support. I'm going to keep looking into this Shannon Bream thing. That would be really cool if she is now following me, and maybe I could connect with her, and maybe I can get the book signed. So have a great one, guys. And let me stop the TikTok first. Thanks, Ines. Really appreciate your support. Thank you, Lexi, too, and everyone else here who's on TikTok. Thanks, Ben Bry. All right, let's end it. Let's see how many people I got on TikTok. And, all right, so I made a lot of money on TikTok from like 1 penny. 1 US penny. So, as I told you guys before, it's all about investing. I'm going to take 10% of that 1 penny and I'm putting it in the stock market, S&P 500, because saving money is the key to wealth. All right, let me see. Did I get new? 6 new followers, 1,000 viewers. That's the most viewers that I've ever got. 1,000 viewers, 3 gifters. Okay, 3 gifters, but it was 1 penny. How much was each of those gifts? Like 1/3 of a penny? I mean, these things. Oh, let me try to look and see the Shannon Bream thing. Let me see if I could figure out if that's like literally for real. Let me see. Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to just find out. All right, 309 followers. I'm pretty excited about that. But let me see so it says Shannon Bream. Yeah, look at this. Look at this, guys. What do you guys think? Shannon Bream, 561 following, 101,000 followers. That looks like it's her. And it says hi by sending a sticker. So that looks like it's really her. Let me click on her thing. Wow. Yeah, guys, it's definitely, look at this. That's her. $1.9 million likes. That's not bad. The question is, though, the question is about this. It's interesting. Is this really her? Or is this just somebody who does her marketing, because look, it says foxnewsbooks.com. Is the whole point of it just to get people to buy books, or does someone actually, well, I guess we'll find out. I'm going to send her a message. And yeah, we will see. Sleepy Time says that's her for sure. So, but you know this, I was on X, and John Cena, the actor, followed me. And I was like, I checked, I thought, is it really him? And he had like 27 million followers. I'm like, oh my God, it's really John Cena. And then I realized how many people he was following. It was like 27 million. So he basically follows every single person on X. And so that's why I am hesitant about this. Because again, I don't want to get any hopes up. Yeah, I mean, it could be her, or maybe it's not her. Let me see if there's another Shannon Bream. That's another question. Let me look on TikTok to see if there's another Shannon Bream. I don't know. When I'm looking on TikTok for Shannon Bream, there's only one that comes up. But maybe I'm not looking on all of TikTok, am I? Oh, that's on the inbox. No, I need to look on all of TikTok. Shannon Bream. I love how it says Shannon Bream. She's your friend. Shannon Bream Fox. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Top results. Right there, and it says friends. So, maybe I'm moving on up. Yeah, let's hope it's not an AI app assist. They have AIs that create accounts based on people like that for promo purposes. Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering, if this is just a I don't know. Let me see if there's any. But here's the thing. I mean, there are so many posts. Let me see. When did it start? Let me just see something. Yeah. I'm just going to assume that it's probably not her. Because maybe it's just a bot. There's a song by the Gin Blossoms called Hey Jealousy, and part of the lyrics is, if you don't expect too much from me, then maybe you won't be let down. And so if I don't expect too much from that, fine. But Sites is spelled SITES. Bad moderator. Let me search on let's see, what is Shannon Bream's official TikTok account? Let's see, continue. Oh, come on, stop that. I don't know, the one that part of it says, the AI overview, Shannon Bream does not have an official verified TikTok account. But then the first one that comes up is TikTok Shannon Bream, 101,000 followers. Actually, no, it is. It says Shannon Bream Official, at Shannon Bream Fox. So it kind of looks like it's legit. Well, we'll see. I'll send her a message. I'll assume that I will not hear from her, and then I will continue moving on with my life. And all right, there are 4 people watching. Before we go, I know 2 of them are Adam and Sleepy Time. Who are the other 2 people watching? Is it Angel? Let's get the four of us to bond. Who are the four of you? Adam, Sleepy Time, who else? Let me see. Shannon Bream official. Shannon Bream official. I don't know why why are those other two people not speaking up? Oh, here's another reason why I think it's the real person. There's another account called Shannon.Bream with the same photo with 5 followers. So it's looking good because there's only one account with Shannon. There are 2 accounts with Shannon Bream, and only one of them has 100,000 followers. So I got to find her actual email because maybe how many Supreme Court justices are there? There are 9. And why? I don't believe there were 9 initially. I think it was expanded at some point. But that's what they talk about when they talk about packing the court. They want to put like 12 or 15. But I think 9 is the number it's going to be staying at for some time. Anyway, if any of you guys have any suggestions on how best to reach out to her, I could send her a message on TikTok. I could try to find her email address. So we'll see. All right, it's 10 o'clock. Did not expect to be doing more than nearly 2.5 hours of live streaming, but here we are. I had a blast. Thank you to all of you guys who stuck around for this long. Hope you have a good morning, evening, night, wherever you go. Sleepy Time, I'm going to send you a message right now. And good night, all you guys. Give you all a salute. Thank you for your support. Let's keep on keeping on. If you have not yet, please download the Break Diving mobile app, BREAKDIVING. Break diving means don't wait for opportunities to float to the surface. You got to dive in, make your own big breaks in life. You can also go to breakdiving.io. Bye, everybody. Bye, Sleepy Time. Bye, Vaughn. Bye, Adam. And bye. I think that might be everybody here. Maybe Amy.